It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rivals. Y'all, we are coming from the book of Survivor with the eye of the tiger. Yes, you know that hit from the late 1900s that gets you hyped to play a game in a team sport or, even in a single person sport or, just to rise to the challenge of whatever is going on in your life. And that's what we're talking about here today, Libra. We are talking about adapt, adjust, overcome, and elevate. And sometimes those challenges come from within. They don't necessarily have to do with anything going outside of us, although it can happen, but it can also be a catalyst. So keep that in mind as we talk to spirit. I'm Shauna. This is your highest good tarot Libra. Welcome or welcome back. Glad to have you. And keep in mind that this message is not for everybody. So take it as it resonates. Let's get to the situation surrounding you. You got the Five of Pentacles. Mm-hmm. And the King of Cups. And the Lovers. But I am going to cover up the breast area. Yeah, the Five of Pentacles, King of Cups, and the Lovers. Let me move this stuff around so I can get a better view. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is the most one of the most stable knights. There is somebody who is dependable, steady, and that's what the energy is giving me here: stability, steady, or the lack thereof. It's what you're craving, Libra. And this isn't, although, take it as it resonates, Libra, this could be about, for some of you, um, work. But what Spirit is saying is that this is about um, romantic relationships. Yeah. I'll put this to the side so we can clarify later. And what's behind the Knight of Pentacles is the Hangman. Some of you might even be going through an aha moment where it's just like, now I see why I haven't had these stable relationships, why I couldn't really count on somebody else. And for others of you, this might be confirmation to bring about the aha moment for you to look at the past with a different set of eyes. Behind the Hangman is a Page of Swords. Huh. The Page of Swords is somebody who can be slick, got a slick mouth. They definitely communicate, but sometimes they can't see the forest from the trees. And they worry about the wrong thing, stay focused on the wrong thing. So, what is it that you're focused on, Libra, in your relationships? Are you focused on, you know, for example, it's only an example, it's what's what spirits is giving me. Are you focused on the wedding or are you focused on the marriage? Because a lot of people focus on the wedding as opposed to the marriage. The wedding is just a party. You can have a party with anybody, but you're not going to marry just anybody, right? Five of Pentacles, King of Cups, and the Lovers. Still want to cover that up. Yeah, it's all about that focus. Check this out, Libra. You see how the man, the masculine in this picture, is focused on the feminine, but she's focused on the angel. He's focused on the wrong thing. And it really just shows the disparity in the relationship already. It shows the disparity in the relationship. And that is what we get here. Make sure that the that's what we get here. We get a disparity. That's what the Five of Pentacles is all about. It's about the lack mindset. It's about um they say you hear it a lot, being left out in the cold. Being left alone. For some of you, there's a fear of abandonment. And that's what brings the disparity into the relationship. Getting into a relationship with the fear of somebody leaving. Uh, Something that could possibly happen. And that's just an example that Spirit gave me. Focused on the wrong thing. Focused on what could possibly happen. So it starts off unstable. Some of you may have had to leave or has asked another person to leave your house, or they have left the relationship. Because you both were focused on different things. Not on the same page, definitely not in the same book. Let me clarify the lovers here for Libra. Clarifying the lovers for Libra. We got the Nine of Pentacles here. At the bottom of the deck, Two of Wands. Time to refocus. Refocus yourself on, because the Knight of Pentacles is about independence. It's about self-sufficiency. It is about growth and not just being focused on that other person, but actually focusing on your connection, because it's your connection with the divine and whoever leads you spiritually, your angels, benevolent ancestors, Libra, that helps you plan, move forward, and um, get, receive what is actually meant for you, that brings you that stability, that helps shift that perspective, that hanged man, because your focus is shifted. It's not on a person anymore. It's not on a destination anymore. Um, Outside of the destination being independence, stability, if that's the destination, that's something different. But going back to the other example, the destination is marriage as opposed to a stable relationship where you have two whole people who complement each other and you grow together. But the focus is the wedding, or the focus is being married as opposed to who you're actually married to. Because a lot of times that mask is hiding the mask that the person that you are with has, is hiding. Yeah, a lot of time the mask is hiding somebody that you wouldn't even like, let alone want to be with for the rest of your life. Let's clarify the Knight of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, and the Page of Swords, please, for Libra. Clarify the Knight of Pentacles. We got the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles, regardless of your biological sex and gender identity, she is somebody who takes care of everything. She's dependable. She's stable, financially viable, financially independent. She's right. You reach that. She's the pinnacle of the pentacles. You get the Nine of Pentacles, and then a few steps up is the Queen of Pentacles. There is a goal. There is a goal, but there is also a way to get there. There's a way to have that stable relationship. There's a way to have that independence and self-sufficiency. It starts with you focusing on, because she's focused on her pentacle. She's actually, her eyes are closed. Although she clutching that pentacle pretty hard though. But it's more so, she has that peace. And she knows she's flourishing. She knows that she's flourished because of her connection. It goes back to the lovers and how the feminine, divine feminine here is focused on the angel. Bottom of the deck, four swords. Didn't we talk about the peace? If we did, it, she has that peace. You're looking for the peace in your relationships. There's no peace. Only the lack mindset and the fear of abandonment, the fear of instability, the fear of fill in the blank, Libra. That's the challenge where you have to adapt and adjust. So let's take a look at what it is you need to overcome, Libra. Spirit, what is it that Libra needs to overcome regarding the relationship? Mm, Solitude. Is that it? Solitude. The fear of being alone. The fear of having to look in the mirror and deal. We got the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. The fear of dealing with the things that have happened in the past and having to look ourselves in the mirror and forgive ourselves, Libra, for the things that we may have allowed people to do. Because that's where the growth is. That's where the growth is. That's how we overcome. It's time for a season of spiritual growth where you reconnect with your spirit team, where you reconnect with the angels and God, whomever it is that you lean into, Libra. But it's a path that you have to walk alone. And you do have to look at the past. You do have to pay attention to the cycles in order to break them. And so that's what has to be overcome, the fear of abandonment, the fear of being alone. And know, Libra, that you're never really alone. Because when we talk about getting that stability, when we talk about getting that new perspective, when we talk about getting to a place where we are independent and self sufficient, that's when your focus shifts to where you start to look at the angels, you start to look at the divine, you fill your own cup. And then that person who comes in, they put you in overflow. They don't fill you up. They help keep you rather in overflow because when you reconnect, you already come. You are already in overflow. So that person that comes in to compliment you, Libra, helps keep you in overflow. You don't need them to keep you in overflow. They just help keep you there. Yeah. But it's having to address those things of the past, Libra. That is how you overcome. Now let's go into how you're going to elevate. What's the advice? The advice for Libra to elevate here. What's the advice for Libra to elevate? You have the Four of Cups. Oop, and there's the Hermit again. Separate decks. Same message. Don't miss this opportunity. Don't miss this opportunity. Don't get distracted. This fear of abandonment and being alone and not having to deal with yourself or face the things that have happened in the past. That's a distraction. And the only way to actually elevate beyond what you've overcome is to go within and be divinely guided. Then we talk about focusing on your cup. This Queen of Cups is focused on her own cup. She's she's emotionally stable. She is emotionally viable. She fills her cup and puts it in overflow, and the divine does too, you know. And that other person, if she wants to connect with somebody else, they come in and they compliment her. But the focus is always on her, on her cup, not in a toxic selfish way, but in that way that you set boundaries, in that way you actually love yourself. But don't get distracted by other people's relationships. Don't get distracted by what you may see on social media. Don't get distracted by other people's relationship goals because you're somebody different, Libra. You a whole you a whole different person. You are a divine being having a human experience. you have to self-discover. You have to discover what it is that keeps Libra in overflow. But that requires solitude, not isolation. Those are two different things. It requires solitude and time, self-examination. So this challenge comes from within, but you can adapt, adjust, overcome, and elevate Libra. We'll hold space for you. Is that it, Spirit? That's it. I hope this helps, Libra, and I hope it helps you for your highest good. Until next time.